if people arrive later, they can still see the recording, so no problem. So I will start with the introduction. First of all, thank you so much for being here, for your presence. We very much appreciate it. I will quickly go through some rules in order to to make this webinar run as smooth as possible. I kind of want to ask everyone but the speaker to mute themselves, to mute their microphones, so we don't have too much background noise. And also, if you have a question, maybe you should raise your hand in the chat in order to prevent different people talking at the same time. There will also be a Q&A after the presentation. There is plenty of time for your questions. So now let's get down to business. Today we are happy to welcome Zalando with their webinar, The Future of Retail is Connected. Zalando is Europe's leading online fashion platform, offering an assortment featuring more than 4,500 brands across 23 countries. And in this webinar, Zalando will provide insights into their connected retail platform and the retail trends, related trends in the Belgian online fashion market. But I think that Edwin Salfischberger, the Connected Retail Regional Sales Manager of Belgium and the Netherlands, and Sandra Clercq, Connected Retail Country Manager of Belgium, are in a better position than I to explain more about themselves, about Zalando, and about Zalando's Connected Retail. So I leave the floor to you now.
I think you have to sign in again, yeah. Oh. Need your password for that. Go next first? No. Where you were, Sandra, and then press next, and then you'll get into the presentation probably.
No. Can you share it, Ed? Because I don't have the connection. No? Okay.
Ed, can you do it? I'm sorry, I can't share in this meeting.
Yep, let me just pull up the latest.
All right. Then you can, yeah, you can go into another screen because you're still presenting now, Sandra. So you need to stop presenting.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys.
Can you take it over, Ed?
Yep. Sorry, some Microsoft Teams beginners. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, but can you press the present? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Then it's bigger, I guess.
Cool.
That's perfect.
Okay.
All right, so welcome to the Connected Retail webinar we're hosting today. I think we'll try and tell you a lot about Zalando as a whole, and then zoom into the Connected Retail part where we are responsible for it. I think we can go to the next slide to start off with a little action, I would say.
inspire many on their journey in their individual style and fall in love with your brand. It's your turn to shine.
Thanks. If you can go to the next slide, please. This always happens to me too. Thank you. So just a short intro. This is the agenda that we'll be discussing today. Having a short introduction just now, Zalando business models. I'll also tell you a bit about the other models that we have. Then we'll zoom into the connected retail part. I'll try and talk a bit about our future, and there will be plenty of time for Q&A. Also, still, I mean, if there's something unclear, just let me know, and I'll try to answer it immediately. Otherwise, I think it would be good to wait until the end to answer all your questions. If you can move on to the next, please, Ed. So, as said earlier, my name is Edwin Salfischberger. I am the regional sales manager for the Benelux for Connected Retail. I've been here since April 1st. Not a joke, it's really true. And which also makes me a bit like a dinosaur for Connected Retail already. We're a very young, ambitious team within the greater Zalando. It's been a great ride and a great journey so far. And we've been also quite successful and happily to announce that we've just opened Belgium, where we were able to hire Sandra de Clercq, where she will introduce herself now shortly. Sandra?
Yes, so my name is Sandra. I recently joined, so I'm still a newbie, only in September. Passion was always my fashion, so I worked all my career in fashion, starting with the wholesale, then starting from scratch an import-export company, opening branches in the Far East, and then go to production for knitwear and for outerwear. And then now happy that I have the possibility to join the connected retail for Belgium and to help with the networking and choosing the right partners to develop the connected retail on the platform.
Can we go on to the next set? So this always looks a bit like we're blowing our own horn, but I mean, the numbers that you see are quite big, but still it's who we are, it's where we are at the moment. So I think it's important also that to show this, the Zalando Foundation facts. We are still very young, only founded in 2008, and we are Europe's leading online platform for fashion and lifestyle. And as Europe's most fashionable tech company, we work hard to find digital solutions for every aspect of the fashion journey. So we are now in Europe, we operate in 23 markets already. We are very dedicated to sustainability, which I'll be elaborating on a bit later also. Starting to, and maybe this will frown a bit with some people, but we are now also very successful in having some profit at the end of this year and the years before. Already we are at 46 million customers with a 10.7 billion GMV in 2020, which is a growth of 30%. And obviously some of the growth came from COVID, where we were all suffering, stores shutting down. So definitely we had some advantage of that, but also there, I'll elaborate a bit later, there's a kind of a funny story towards it, which is not funny, but more like an interesting story towards it, how people react and respond to the COVID and how they then interact with us. And this also shows in the connected retail how we can help the retailers survive in this crazy period. I think in looking at orders that we had in 2020, going up to 186 million, it also gives kind of like the magnitude of what's going on at Zalando at the moment. On to the next, Ed, please. I need to DJ myself also around here, so I'll do the next slide here. Of these 46 million active customers we have in Europe on the 13 markets, we are, I would say, riding on the shoulders of giants, focusing on the opportunity that Zalandos offers to retailers, as opposed to others, I would say. A very large customer base, focus on being the starting point for fashion, where I will also elaborate a bit on that later on. And the good thing is that there's huge proportion of customers are millennial and Generation Z, especially the millennials are the focus, as from 25 to 40 years old, increase spending power definitely, and Generation Z are trendsetters and I would say digital natives, an important customer segment also for us, and where we also see huge growth within the Generation Z part. On to the next, please, if there are no questions. So, what do these European customers want? I would say the development that we see, that 50% of orders contain more than one brand, which is actually good also for connected retail, where we can see that these retailers actually show more brands with us online, and in the future they will be able to send more towards their customers. The good thing is also that with female brands, they buy different brands every time they look on our platform. So it's not that they are very conscious of what they are buying, but they also look at where they can differ and do it also with us online. And where we can also see an increase of using the Zalando app. So buying on the phone, where we usually saw that it's more on a computer or on a bigger screen, 75% of orders are actually placed now in the Zalando app. So that's a development that we also should be very aware of, and also the retailers should be very aware of for the future of online buying. If we can go on to the next, Ed. So if you look at the different business models that we have within Zalando, there's actually three where we can differ from. The first one is actually the last one on this slide, is the wholesale business, which is obviously also well known by all of us. We buy and we sell it online and make a little profit. That's what we do with the Zalando site. There's partner program, where we basically give the partners the room to use our platform to showcase their own brands and sell directly to the consumers. And this is where you are a brand owner. And then the third one, and that's the one where we'll be zooming in today, is connected retail. So the physical stores connect to the Zalando platform and sell directly to the customers. And this is a different game than any other player is doing in Europe now, because we are building the bridge between consumer and the retailer. So we are actually trying to make a direct connection with them. And for future, this will be very important, I would say, because one, it helps the retailer getting new customers and getting new ways of selling. And two, at the end of the day, the consumer will see where the package is coming from. Yes, we will do the back end. Yes, we'll do the entire thing, but the consumer will see where the package is sent from. So our role at the end of the day will be a different one, where we really need to connect, really want to connect the retailer directly to the customer. If you go on to the next, Ed. So after this, there's going to be a very short movie where Carsten Keller, our managing director and basically founder of Connected Retail, will explain a bit more about Connected Retail, where he found I would say, inspiration for this. And this sentence, the sentence that we live, it all starts with a core belief, a belief in the power of physical retail. That's exactly where we're coming from. We saw that as soon as the retailers in the street, and as soon as these curious guys get lost in the bigger scale of things. This also leads to less interest for consumers. They still, many consumers still want to be in touch with the retailer and still want to be buying new creative stuff. And this, to combine the two, to have the physical retailer with us and then helping them finding these customers by connecting the two and building this bridge is the reason that we started this all. Can you go to the next, Ed? Thanks. Is there anything you do about the volume, Ed?
Sorry, was there an issue with the sound?
We don't hear anything.
Ah, okay. Was the previous video audible?
Yes, we heard it. There was a lot of echo, but we heard it. But now we don't hear anything.
Okay, let me try again, sorry.
Well, Connect Retail is actually a bridge between online and offline, and this is exactly how it also works. So when somebody orders on Zalando a shoe, for example, and then this order for the shoe is not going to our warehouse, but we send it to a store. And then the shop assistants see the order, they pick and pack the items that the customers have ordered, put them into a parcel and hand it over to the carrier. Carrier brings the parcel to our customer, and the customer ultimately fulfills the article, keeps it, and is satisfied. Retailers are joining Connected Retail essentially for three reasons. Reason number one is growth. So essentially with Connected Retail, we're widening the catchment area of the store from a few blocks to the entire nation and later on also to the entirety of Europe. So that has a massive effect on the top line and the bottom line for retailers. Effect number two is more indirect. It is the freshness of the assortment. So here the stock is turning faster because you're selling more in shorter time frame. That means that you can renew your assortment more often during the season, and that gives offline customers who are just coming by your store more reasons to come in more often. And the third one is you can go for more flashy assortment because you don't just sell like the dark gray and dark blue jumpers that will definitely sell. You can also afford to have a yellow neon jumper on your rack. And if it doesn't sell to an offline customer, it doesn't matter. You can still find somebody online who wants to give us. Well, Zalando customers benefit from Connected Retail in various ways. To start with, availability goes up, so customers can get the product they love in their size at every moment in time. In addition, they will also get access to a much wider and more relevant assortment. So that means that they get all the relevant local brands and local products. And then sometimes speed also matters. So if the product is not shipped from a warehouse, but actually comes from a store next door, you can have it on the same day. And that also benefits the planet. So fewer kilometers traveled, less emissions. I think Connected Retail in 10 years is hopefully a movement where almost 300,000 stores all across Europe, fashion stores, have joined the model. And then we can build all these new use cases. So we're thinking of a future where every single store is connected to every single customer. It makes everything that they have always visible. If you need something really fast, they can actually choose whether they have their product delivered within a few minutes or they simply walk by and pick it up themselves. Customers in the future, we anticipate, can also bring the returns to the stores, and that is not only bringing a return, but replacing the return. In this case, they just go to the store and replace the item which didn't fit. And that's good for the planet, that's good for the customer, and that's ultimately also good for the retailer because they can then curate another outfit for the customer, and we're happy, and the customer as well.
Thank you. Everybody can hear me again, I guess. So now we are with Connected Retail. We'll zoom in a bit about Connected Retail. We are currently live in 13 markets, where obviously Germany, as being our home market, is also our strongest market, where we started the first. Netherlands is second, and basically you can see where we were going from there, where we just went live in Belgium and Italy. I think at the end of the day, it will be also UK, Ireland, and moving forward with that, and to be actually present in all our markets as we are with Zalando. The second slide, please, or the next slide, please. So what we saw was in the last year is where you can see 2019 to Q1 2020, and this is definitely, in this last time, I'll probably hopefully talk about COVID, but this is definitely COVID given, where you can see what's going on in the landscape of retail. I mean, basically where the e-commerce penetration was in 10 years time grew to about 35%. And you can see in these months that it grew, it almost doubled. Actually, it did double. So what we achieved in 10 years actually grow bigger in 3 months. Now, this number doesn't really tell us anything, but if you go to the next slide, the interesting part about it is that of these 35% that came to either Zalando or another internet site and bought something for the first time, the ones that actually said we liked doing this and we actually thought it was a good experience is around 60%. So 60% of that number has actually decided to do this again because of the convenience and because of the easiness. So you can see that the change in the customer shopping behavior is actually taking place right now. And also for us, during the pandemic, and this also shows how we are in it as a company. We actually told the retailers at the time, because we came into a very strange kind of advantage, retailing's being closed and not being able to open their shops, but needed to find a way out. And one of the way out was us connecting to Connected Retail with Zalando. So we thought this is a really strange competitive advantage that we have. So we actually told the retailers that came into to Connected Retail at that time that we put the commission on 0%, just because we thought it wasn't a very great thing to benefit of the COVID pandemic. But what we did see is because they connected and because they were able to send packages out, they're also able to reach out to their customers, and also were able to tell them we are still there and we are still moving with our little business. Can I go to the next, please? So building a bridge between physical and digital retail is not just something that we shout, it's something that we also live and that we really believe in. And we believe that physical retail is not something from the past, but it's key to driving the future, and it's key to also driving the future together. That's for us the main reason that we're in it. And there is something magical about physical retail that's hard to recreate online. It's not just that it's a physical location, but it also addresses the need of the customer in a different manner. It activates all our senses. It provides us in a more personal experience, a local relevant level of creation, as it allows us for an immediate wow, which is definitely different from an online experience, I would say. And I mean, while online is round the clock and unlimited, physical retail is social and instant. And within the Zalando markets, there are over 300,000 fashion resale stores that are waiting to be discovered by these online customers. And connecting these two worlds doesn't just benefit the retailer and Zalando, but it also creates a stepping stone to create new customer experience, making this a truly win-win scenario. If you can go on to the next, Ed. It's a short clip of one of the Amsterdam retailers that has joined us.
Okay, and can I just check if the sound was okay last time? Cool.
Ik ben Jeroen, woon sinds 8 jaar in Amsterdam en werk bij Nudie Jeans in de repairshop in de Nederlandse kaartjes. Wij zijn als winkel en denim brand gefocust op sustainability en environment. Dus alles wat we doen is om de wereld te beteren. En ons doel is dan ook om het meest duurzame denimmerk ter wereld te zijn. De afgelopen 6 maanden waren zeker interessant door COVID-19, maar hebben we zeker als een uitdaging gezien dat je juist nu creatief moet zijn. Je nieuwe manieren moet vinden om te verkopen, maar ook om de relatie met de klant te behouden. Wij zijn begonnen met Connected Retail om krachten te bundelen met een van de sterkste partners in Europa. Omdat wij denken dat er een algemene verandering gaande is als je het hebt over retail. Connected Retail heeft ons geholpen om meer efficiënt te werken met onze online bestellingen. Doordat het heel openzichtelijk is het heel fijn om mee te werken. Het was makkelijk om Connected Retail te integreren, omdat de tool heel vanzelfsprekend is. Het was over het algemeen een makkelijke overgang. In het begin hadden we wat kleine uitdagingen op het logistieke aspect, maar alles van de integratie tot de nieuwe handeling in de winkel ging eigenlijk super smooth. Het combineren van online en offline ging heel soepel. Het is eigenlijk precies hetzelfde, dus het support elkaar super goed. Ik denk dat het zich heel normaal en gemeenschappelijk ontwikkelt, zodat we samen op een grotere en bredere schaal kunnen samenwerken om de klanten op hun behoeften te kunnen helpen. Wat wij ervan geleerd hebben is dat het super tof is om deel te zijn van iets nieuws. En het hoeft ook helemaal niet moeilijk te zijn.
Edwin?
Sorry, I think the sound went, or maybe Edwin, you're still on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was still on mute. I have to go again. Could you present again? Thanks. So, how does it all work? You see, it's simple and fast. It's not always that fast because we need to connect to all kinds of systems within the stores. But at the end of the day, we are capable of doing it quite quickly. So basically what happens is the store has an ERP system with the stock, and the regular stock updates go to the Zalando website. It's actually a connection that is always there, and every 15 minutes you can see the data shooting up and down again. The articles are pretty fast onboarded because we do business with many brands already. I would say the majority of the brands are available on Zalando. It's easily onboarded through the EN matches. So all the pictures, all the information, all the everything's basically there. And if you have an own assortment or an extra assortment, then you can do that via a dedicated upload, which is also pretty simple, I would say. So then when the consumer orders something and we route it towards the store, the delivery will be done by an integrated carrier which has a daily pickup from the store, and they will send it directly to the consumer. And the orders are also quite simple with that you just saw, I think, on the clip also. It's a quite simple system where you just accept the order and send it through the Connected Retail tool. The backend stays with Zalando. So everything that happens when there's a package missing, or where there's something going on with the payment, or where anything you can imagine is done by us. So there's no, if there's anything going on, they will not connect the retailer directly, but they will connect with us. Can you go to the next? So as I talked about earlier, I think this is basically the main reason also for retailers to be aware of the new platform that we are offering. I mean, for the retailer, the online presence is if you have to start now or if you're already there as a retailer, it's still very difficult to grow with your own business. And with using a platform like ours or others, you actually have online presence with a wider consumer base, and you can grow very profitably with us. The good thing also, as we talked about earlier, the stock turn will be faster, obviously, but also buying into some more, I would say, extravagant pieces, or pieces where you usually say, oh, that's a difficult one and it's more for the window, but we like it and buy it because of that. And usually it's difficult to get rid of it. Through the bigger customer scheme that we have, it's actually quite easy to sell it. There's always someone looking for this yellow jumper, I would say. Business continuity and digital evolution is obviously evident for us. And the second part is the consumer part. So for them, basically what we see now is availability is key. When consumer is starting to look online for, I would say, a white sneaker, that as soon as he decided that he wants it, he really wants it. And there's no two ways about it, that it is there. So we just need to find where it is. It's either our stock or with the partners or with connected retail. So availability is key at this moment. Also choice and convenience are, I would say, very important to these consumers. Speed is actually, it's still there, but it's since we are getting more on the sustainable part, it is getting less relevant to some consumers that actually see that it's more sustainable to not being always that speedy. At the end of the day, if we can get speedy delivery on a sustainable base, like we are testing already in Berlin with bike couriers that can actually send you the package immediately, that's a different ballgame. But obviously we are not there yet. And for Zalando, it's evident that we are looking for the platform relevance and profitable growth with our retailers to do that together. If we come on to the second, or the almost last slide, I would say. So here we are, over to you, which is basically true, I would say, with physical retail, with e-commerce, with social media. What is your omni-channel strategy? Where are you in finding marketplaces and finding out how it works and how it connects to your store, and how it can also how can it benefit your store? We truly believe that with the marketplace that we offer and with the connection that we offer, we can help local retailers with not only turnover, but also reaching their customers in, I would say, difficult times, but also new times and other times. So for us, doing this and making sure that we can make the connection and building the bridge between customers and retailers is the reason that we're in it and the reason that we're talking to you today. I would say next slide, Ed. So please, this was the last one for share your thoughts and questions and ideas, and I'll be happy to answer them. I think you can go out of the presentation now, maybe show us all where we are. Thanks. So any questions for me?
Hello, I might ask a question if that's okay.
Yes, obviously.
Hi, Edwin, and to everyone. My name is Sive Donnelly. You might be wondering what that name is, but I actually work for Enterprise Ireland, which is the Irish government trade and innovation agency in the Benelux region. So my area is consumer products, and also I do a lot of work in retail technologies. So a big area of our focus at the minute is the future of bricks and mortar and how Irish companies who are trading already and plan on exporting into the Benelux region have to change their strategies and also can help within the Benelux. So I really enjoyed your presentation. I think it's super interesting, and I really like your reference to kind of connecting physical retail and digital retail, because it's really high on our agenda. But I know my actual background is in retail, and I know for local and kind of smaller companies, I suppose driving footfall into the stores was extremely important. And I was wondering, as part of this solution, is there an option for consumers to, I suppose, click and collect? So they see a product on Zalando that they like, can they go into the store and try it on? I suppose it kind of falls into that sustainability element as well, because it saves them sending it back and so. So is that an option, or is it purely kind of the logistical side that they're sent the product?
For the future, we are talking about click and collect, and we also are talking about return in store. But it is future. There's a lot of hurdles to be taken, not only from a legal point of view, but also from an IT point of view. So we need to really find a way to do it. But yes, definitely, we are looking into it. Not only looking into it, it's one of our, I would say, spear points for the next years. And definitely because we want also this consumer to make the real connection with the retailer. That's part of the game why we're in it. And the second part is, for now, the consumer does see, if he chooses to shop locally, which is actually one of the things that you can click on at Zalando. He sees where the package is sent from. So the consumer also then, at the end of the day, sees where he could go to immediately if he wants to. Is that a good answer for you?
Yeah, it's a great answer. So their options can be localized to where they are, so the city that they're in, or so
Yes.
and so. Yeah,
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else for questions? Or was I that clear?
Maybe I have a question. You said you recently launched in Belgium and Italy with the connected retail platform. Could you maybe compare Belgium with Italy? Are Belgian retailers more active, more connecting to Zalando than Italy, or the other way around?
I think it's two completely different markets. For one, in Belgium, the ERP systems, the cash systems are much more developed than in Italy. In Italy, a lot of things are still done on paper. So that's one of our biggest issues that we have there. So somehow we need to help them also getting their ERP systems working. From an attention point of view, I think it's similar. We are talking to many retailers in Belgium at the moment, and also in Italy, and everybody's very curious. Everybody's very anxious to know what's going on, what are we doing, why are we doing it. So there's a lot of attention for us, and there's a lot of potential, I would say. And in Belgium, I think we can convert the potential quite easily. In Italy, that's a bit of an issue because of the IT issues that they have over there.
Thank you.
I have another one, if that's okay. Sorry.
Yes, no worries.
Just in terms of retailers, so let's say I am, for example, a local retailer and I'd like to get onto Zalando. How does that process usually look like, and how do you qualify retailers you onboard? Do they have to be a certain size? Is there criterias? And kind of a follow-on question, with so many brands on Zalando, how do companies, I suppose, stand out from each other? I'm sure there's not an easy answer to that, but is there kind of supports put in place to help them?
Well, first things first, we, as long as you have a good working ERP system, and as long as you have a fashion background, you're welcome at the Zalando platform. So there's no, we're not going, I think we're not going to sell bikes or mopeds or anything, or those kind of things. It has to be fashion or fashion related. So that's one. And the second part is, yes, you can stand out. There are some marketing activities that you can do with Zalando, but because of the magnitude of the consumers that are already there, it's actually the numbers that I showed you, like from the start on, they will probably be selling around 20 to 25 packages a day from the moment that they start selling. And this is an average throughout Europe. So there are ones that are really big, and there are ones that are smaller. It also has to do with the brands that you sell, also has to do with what area you are in and the popularity of the moment. But yes, there is a marketing aspect on Zalando where you can connect to us and ask, okay, what can I do to make my store stand out for a certain period in time?
Understood. Thank you.
All right, Flora, I think you raised a hand. How nice.
Yeah, I also have a question. As a shopper, can you like search for your favorite retailer, or do you just search like you normally do in your Zalando app for some items, and then if it happens to be sold at this particular retailer, this retailer will ship it?
Yeah. So for now, you cannot search on your favorite retailer. What you can do is basically the first slide, it says, do you want to shop in a local store if stock is available? That you can click on.
Okay, I did not.
Yeah, and then it gets if the stock is available, if the product is available that you're looking for at a local store, it'll reroute you directly to them.
Okay, and if there are a few retailers selling like the same brands or the same goods, then the app will automatically choose the one that's mostly close by?
I would like to say yes, and I think it also is partly yes, but there's a big algorithm behind it that is, and to be quite honest, I'm not 100% sure how that works, and I don't think that anyone within our company is 100% sure about how that works, because if you have a marketing spend during a period of time, you can stand out a little bit, but also we don't want to influence the consumer that much. So if it's near, it benefits us both, because then packaging and sending is less consuming and more nice to the environment, I would say. So yes, we do it, but it's not that we can pinpoint if you are next to a store that's going to be right there. It could be a bit further off.
Okay, and then I have one last question.
Yes.
So I'm coming from the packaging world. Do these retailers then supply their own packaging, or is this something that is also part of the Zalando?
No, you can order your packaging through us, but basically you're free to pack it the way you want to do it. So the only thing that we need is that the receipts in there, that the return receipts in there, and that the order receipts in there. So there's 3 pieces of paper that go into the package, which are ours, because at the end of the day, if the consumer returns something, we need all these bits and pieces in there. If a retailer wants to put in a handwritten carton saying this is coming from this retailer and this is my address and this is my email, please do so. There's no restrictions to that. If you want,
not. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, and if you want to pack it in a round package, up to you. Fine by us, as long as it's not ripping or being unstable or whatever.
Yeah. So you don't need to have a reference to Zalando on your packaging.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're free of choice. So, anybody else? Otherwise, I will give back 9 minutes to everybody's time, and thank you for your attention, and wishing you all a very good Friday.
Thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.